This is the Daily Brief for Saturday, 15 August. 12 stories in 8 minutes, money, politics, jobs and the machines. Let's go. 37 fires are burning across England and Wales right now, destroying homes and forcing a national emergency alert. 19 homes were destroyed and 18 damaged in a massive blaze in Stourbridge, West Midlands on Thursday. The fire spread rapidly through grass and woodland before hitting homes. A national government alert warned people Friday evening not to light anything that could spark a wildfire. Prime Minister Andy Burnham told the public to take the warning seriously, saying it came at firefighters' request. The West Midlands Fire Service chief called it one of the most significant incidents his service had ever dealt with. Major incidents were also declared in Wales near Llandovery, with dozens evacuated. Firefighters spent a 6-day tackling a wildfire in the New Forest in Hampshire.
Disposable barbecues are now temporarily banned from sale as 200 military personnel deploy to fight wildfires. Government banned disposable barbecues because they pose a significant risk to the public during drought and heatwave conditions. They have caused a number of serious wildfires across the country over the summer months. 200 military personnel, including Gurkha logistics teams with water tankers, are now helping fire services in South Wales. Prime Minister Andy Burnham says the UK is like a tinderbox. An emergency alert sent Friday evening was the most extensive use of the system to date. A total of 1,017 wildfires have been recorded in England and Wales this year, matching last year's record. Public have been urged not to light open fires and to dispose of cigarettes carefully.
Luigi Mangione has pleaded guilty to killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, telling the court exactly what he did. The 28-year-old admitted in Manhattan federal court on Friday, "I shot Mr. Thompson in Manhattan and he died." Thompson, a 50-year-old father of 2, was shot from behind on December 4th as he walked into a hotel in Midtown Manhattan. Mangione faces a maximum sentence of life in prison on federal charges. He told the court he was driven to kill Thompson because of his experience with the healthcare system after years of severe pain from a broken back. Mangione said he used a 3D printer to make the gun, equipped it with a silencer and magazine. He admitted he emailed United Healthcare, posing as an investor before the attack. Sentencing on federal charges is scheduled for December 18th.
The USS George Washington is headed to the Middle East to replace the USS Abraham Lincoln after sailors reported food shortages and attempted suicides. The USS George Washington could arrive in about 9 days to replace the Lincoln, which has been deployed for 9 months. Thousands of sailors aboard the Lincoln have reportedly faced food shortages, broken plumbing, and poor sanitation. Family members say some sailors have attempted to jump overboard due to the difficult conditions. One sailor reportedly lost 65 pounds since the ship deployed and suffers from exhaustion due to constant aircraft noise and vibrations. The U.S. Navy acknowledged supply challenges, but denied a mental health crisis was taking place. President Donald Trump dismissed concerns about crew welfare, saying the deployment was not nearly long enough. The USS George Washington left Japan in May and is now headed to replace the Lincoln.
The government is considering slashing electric vehicle sales targets by nearly half after pressure from car makers. Currently, car manufacturers must ensure a rising percentage of sales are zero emissions, reaching 80% by 2030. The government is now considering cutting that target to as far as 50% of all sales by the end of the decade. A consultation on the changes will run until late October. The current policy, called the ZEV mandate, started at 22% in 2024 and was set to reach 80% by 2030. Environmental groups argue that watering down targets undermines the UK's long-term climate goals. Car makers have urged ministers to ease targets, arguing demand is not high enough and meeting targets costs too much money. An outright ban on selling purely petrol or diesel cars past 2030 will stay in place.
A bank worker lost $14,000 in 1 month as South Korea's stock market swung wildly. And he's not the worst off. Young-Joon Kim lost 20 million Korean won on the South Korean stock market last month, when his tech investments slumped by around 25%. The money was meant to help him buy a home as he prepares to get married. The Kospi, South Korea's tech-heavy stock index, is widely regarded as the world's most volatile. Between June and August, the Kospi faced one of the sharpest corrections in its history. comparable to drops during COVID and the 1997 Asian financial crisis. The index more than doubled its value since the start of the year to above 9,000 points in mid-June, then plunged to 5,500 within weeks. A global frenzy around artificial intelligence has driven wild swings in the value of the country's biggest chipmakers. Some personal investors took out loans to invest, generating extreme euphoria that turned to pain when prices collapsed.
Quick break. MOT, servicing and repairs in Bedford. Azam Motor Group are a mobile garage, so we can come to you. Call 07346 814921.
A parliamentary standards investigation into a £5 million gift to Nigel Farage has reopened after he won the Clacton by-election. Farage won with 63% of the vote on a turnout of 44% in a highly unusual by-election contested by a record 34 candidates. The investigation into an alleged failure to declare a £5 million gift was paused after Farage resigned as an MP last month. Farage did not show up at the count, telling supporters Essex police had warned him of an organised campaign to disrupt and degrade the result. The BBC has been told Essex police did not advise any candidate they should not attend. Farage received 22,239 votes, 1,014 more than his winning total at the 2024 general election. He increased his majority from 8,405 to 12,784. Prime Minister Andy Burnham said the investigation should continue to ensure the highest standards in politics.
The number of children living in temporary accommodation in England hit an 18th quarterly record, rising 5% in a year. 177,530 children are now living in temporary accommodation. January to March saw the 18th quarterly increase in a row, although children living in B and BS has fallen. The total number of households in temporary accommodation increased by nearly 4% in a year. Roncha has been living in temporary accommodation with her 2 sons since 2024 after a no-fault eviction. She and her family were housed in a B&B for 7 weeks, beyond the 6-week limit, without proper cooking facilities or a fridge for her son's diabetes medication. Her younger son has type 1 diabetes and complex needs, and the constant moving has made it difficult for her older son to study for his GCSEs. Prime Minister Andy Burnham pledged to introduce the biggest council house building programme since the post-war period.
A UK high street giant has collapsed into administration, wiping out 1,800 jobs and owing £46 million. A major UK retailer has collapsed into administration, resulting in the loss of around 1,800 jobs. The company was carrying significant debts, reportedly owing millions of pounds to creditors. This is another blow to the high street, which has faced considerable challenges in recent years. Store closures and job losses have become increasingly common as consumer shopping habits continue to shift. Administrators are now working to assess the situation and explore potential options for the business. The collapse will impact employees, suppliers, and communities where the retailer operated stores.
A UK scaffolding firm that has been operating for 62 years has gone into administration, putting over 100 jobs at risk. Long-established UK scaffolding company has gone into administration, putting more than 100 jobs at risk. The firm, which had been operating for over 6 decades, has now ceased trading. It's another difficult moment for the construction sector, which has faced significant challenges in recent times. Staff and their families will be concerned about what comes next for their livelihoods. Administrators are now working to assess the situation and explore what options may be available. The collapse highlights ongoing pressures affecting businesses across the construction and support industries.
Natural gas prices could triple in parts of the US, which could devastate the massive AI data centers hyperscalers are betting the farm on. Amazon, Google, Meta, and Microsoft are betting that natural gas will power the data centers behind their AI ambitions. But a new research report suggests natural gas prices could triple in some parts of the US in the coming years. Hyperscaler demand will collide with declining supply growth and rising exports of liquefied natural gas. Peter Gardett, CEO of energy research firm Norva, told TechCrunch, "You just need simple arithmetic to get to a much tighter gas market than you were in just a few years ago." Meta said in March it would build a massive 7.5 gigawatt natural gas power plant in Louisiana. Microsoft and Google each said they would build gigawatt-scale gas power plants in Texas. Amazon plans to build a 7.6 gigawatt gas power plant in Texas.
AI data platform Databricks wanted to raise $1 billion, but but investors demanded $15 billion, so it settled on $5 billion at a $190 billion valuation. Co-founder and CEO Ali Ghodsi told TechCrunch the company wanted to raise just $1 billion. But when the information reported Databricks was doing a big fundraise during their conference in June, his phone blew up. From a select group of investors, there was $15 billion of interest. When that much demand exists, telling existing backers no risks offending them, so Databricks issued more stock. The company closed the raise in July and announced it Thursday at a $190 billion valuation. Databricks has hit $7 billion of annualized revenue run rate, growing at 80%, and is cash flow positive. Its database for AI agents, Lakebase, launched in June 2025 and has hit $100 million revenue run rate.
That's your brief. Every story here comes from a published report, and every source is listed below. Subscribe, and we'll do it all again tomorrow.